Disturbing details are emerging about a deadly mission to rescue abducted scientists. According to some reports, more than 40 oil explorers and Nigerian soldiers could have been killed on Tuesday in an attack by Boko Haram militants in northeast Nigeria, where 10 oil explorers were captured. The military had said most members of the oil prospecting team had been rescued, but the Maiduguri teaching hospital reportedly received at least 30 bodies after the attack. Army chiefs have now been ordered to relocate to the affected area. The high number of casualties is bound to be viewed as a blow for the government, which insists the insurgency is all but defeated. Well, let's get you some more details and insights now on this story. We're joined from Lagos by CGTN's Deji Badmos. Deji, of course, still some information that's coming out of this situation, but rather sketchy at this point. Just give us some clarity on the exact number of casualties and what government is saying actually transpired during this rescue mission.
Well, unfortunately, Lindy, there's still no clarity as such on what actually transpired during that ambush. As a matter of fact, we do not know for sure how many people exactly died in the ambush. Some reports say 48. From the hospital sources are saying about 48. In fact, from what we're gathering now, it's even difficult to tell if there was indeed a rescue effort. Because, for instance, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Maiduguri, whose staff, of course, were involved in the exploration work, has come out to say, well, that he got a report from the military that there was a rescue effort, but that what they brought back to him were dead bodies, that he just does not believe there was any rescue effort at all. And let me just quickly add that a video, I mean, Boko Haram has now released a video showing 3 staff of the University of Maiduguri who were actually abducted during that attack. Now, in that video, we saw the 3 of them begging the government to intervene to meet the demands of the Boko Haram group. And as a matter of fact, it's now becoming clearer from the video that it was actually the Al-Banawi faction that carried out the attack. And in that video, of course, pleading for their lives, begging the government to do everything to meet the demands of the group. That's the faction of Al-Banawi faction, so that they could be released. Of course, we do not know what the demands are. They did not say what those demands are. And from that video, you'd begin to even question the fact if there was a rescue effort in the first place. Because, I mean, the captured staff now explained that they were attacked in the ambush, and that they were taken by this faction of Boko Haram, and that they have so far been well treated, basically asking the government to meet the demand. So this whole thing, you know, what is actually emerging now, it's confusing a lot. And so far, the military has decided to maintain silence, other than the statement it issued earlier in the week that it rescued about 9 persons. As a matter of fact, it's becoming clearer now that, well, indeed, maybe nobody was actually rescued alive.
And that, of course, is rather worrying. This incident all took place on Tuesday, and it's almost, you know, 5 or so days later, and still no clarity, no official statement from authorities there. And indeed, an incident of this nature draws a lot of attention, and once again points to the fact that Boko Haram is not defeated, at least certainly not in northeastern Nigeria. What do you imagine authorities will do now to at least try and claim back some sense of victory against Boko Haram?
Well, at least the government has done something now. The acting president, that's the vice president of the country, has ordered the military chiefs to go back to Maiduguri, which is a theater of operation. He's ordered them to go there and do something about the situation. The military, of course, on its part, has been explaining why there seems to be this resurgence of Boko Haram. It says it's because of the rainy season, and that Boko Haram, that the whole area is now becoming more forested, and that Boko Haram is taking advantage of, you know, the environmental situation there to stage some of these ambushes and attacks. And the government, the Minister of Defense actually said the government is now going to procure more surveillance and more sophisticated equipment now to be able to detect where these Boko Haram members are and to detect these attackers from afar. And of course, the head of the Air Force too did say something that I think is very important. He said it's been difficult for the Air Force to carry out to carry out attacks over the past weeks because of the rain. The weather in that area is bad, and that it's difficult because of the equipment they have to pinpoint exactly where these Boko Haram insurgents are, because the whole place is now very, very bushy. But we just have to wait and see what happens with this new order that the acting president has given to the military chiefs. They are now back in Maiduguri. We'll wait and see what happens. But nobody's happy about this. The military too says it is not happy about this and that they will do everything to check the situation. But it's still a question of wait and see what happens.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Deji Bad was live there for us in Lagos, Nigeria.